Welcome to Mom Knows Ball, episode 20. Can you believe it? We can almost drink. Cheers to that. Mom, how are we doing?
Um, I am doing well. It is good to see you. This is a really important episode because it is what we like to call our all thing football episode. It is all football. There's no baseball. There's no basketball. We're not going to talk about any Christmas movies. We're not going to talk about Jordan's facial hair or lack of facial hair. None of mom's crushes. It's all football with one exception. With one exception. We have to talk about the fact that the city of Los Angeles is experiencing fires that are, by all account, just devastating to the community. And Jordan is in LA, and I've talked to him several times a day around what's going on and his proximity to the fires. People always reach out to me and they are asking me, are you okay? And so I know you're living it. I know it's a lot. Every time we talk about it, you share with me how kind of overwhelming it is to be there. So can you just shed a little light for people who are asking questions and want to know about how you're doing?
Yeah. No, I appreciate that, Mom. Yeah, it's definitely been a surreal experience, which I feel like is a word that I've used, unfortunately, more times than I would have wanted to in the past 5 years. But yeah, I would say that it it's one of those things that you don't realize how serious it is until you're right in the middle of it. Thankfully, I'm in an area that is pretty much a safe zone. But I have coworkers and friends who, aren't so lucky and have had to evacuate. It's definitely, been pretty grim over the past week, and it's hard to like go into work and feel like just like the normalcy of it. I mean, I remember going to my office and like not realize, because you get so tunnel vision, and you're on the 10th floor of I was on the 10th floor of my building, and I just looked up over the hills, and it's just engulfed in flames, and it's feels like the end of the world in a really weird way. So yeah, definitely something very new for me. I've obviously lived in a lot of different places, but never experienced, a wildfire. And again, lucky to have, really, really lucky and really blessed to have not, been affected by it. But it's definitely doing the most I can to help out and volunteer and donate. There's a lot of good people, and it feels like the community is coming together. But yeah, just trying to keep some type of normalcy into my week to get myself right again.
Thank you, Jordan. And I thank you. I really appreciate you recording the episode today because we kind of talked about it. And I know that you and your girlfriend Aiden like donated some things yesterday and signed up for volunteering. So appreciate that. And, for everybody, impacted either directly or indirectly, we will continue to keep you in our prayers and do whatever we can to support you in this really, really difficult time. So, okay. All right, let's move on to something much, much lighter, and maybe it'll be serve as a distraction for you and for others as well. Again, our rundown today is we're gonna do some mindless football yapping. We can talk football all day, and then we're gonna do our infamous the good, the bad, the
Eh,
and for those who haven't watched us before, the end is just kind of when you're not really sure what positions you're going to take. So you hope if you just keep talking, you'll land somewhere. So
It's usually me not having come up with an and my is, something on the spot that I'm like, oh yeah, that works as an so
yeah,
yes.
yeah, we've had a few episodes where I felt like Jordan was coming up with his end as I was finishing mine. So
I do some of my best work on the
yeah,
fly,
you
so
have
you know what?
you
That's
have said that, and
I
I'm
think
going to take
more
you.
than I think other people have said it too, but
I'm going to
that's
take you at your word. I'm going to take you at your word with that. So, let's just start with college football, right? So, um, as an out,
wait, the season's still going on?
yeah,
Right, right? Yeah, it's
it
crazy.
is. So,
Okay.
first, just saying, obviously, Alabama lost their last game of the season. Of course we were disappointed. We wanted to finish strong, but we're Alabama and we're gonna come back. And we are hardcore Alabama fans. So there's nothing uh really that they could do that would stop us from saying roll tide and stop us from attending games and supporting the team. It was a different year for us, and that's okay. You're gonna have peaks and valleys in everything. So, but then this college football playoff, I'm sure I'm a bit salty since Alabama was not in it, but it has felt like it's gone on forever. Like,
No, it's funny you said that because I was looking in the rundown as I was, I was in the workshop, really just making sure I had everything ready to go. And I was like, oh yeah, college football playoff. I went to the ESPN app to see like, oh, is there a game tonight? Like, when is the game? Like, and I don't know if maybe it was because of this past week's event, but I just feel like it's really gone on way too long. Like we all wanted this playoff for so long, but something about it competing with NFL playoff, it's just not. I don't know. I think I'm like college football is like, oh, it's over now, right? And I'm sure, if you're a Notre Dame or Ohio State fan, you're like, F off. But like, I just don't, I haven't been locked in. And I feel like even if it was, a non Alabama team from a normal year where it was just four teams, I would have, I would be like, oh yeah, Georgia, Oregon, or whatever
right,
it is. So I don't know. Maybe and it's also, it's weird because in a year that had so many stars, so many like standout players, and Travis Hunter, Shadir Sanders, Ashton Janty. I mean, like all these guys. I don't know. It just feels like they're what is going to be in the top of my mind in terms of like how this season was defined. I mean, I think the one thing I will say is it'd be kind of funny if Ryan Day does pull this off. Uh, you know, Everyone was ready to go for his head after he lost to Michigan again. And then just be ironic. Like I wonder how if you're an Ohio State fan, if like winning a national championship, gets him. He's not going to get fired regardless, but off the hot seat, where they're like, you know what, and Natty's good, but still lost to Michigan. So I don't know. I don't know about that day guy. So it's just that's the only thing I kind of care about. I don't know about the old traditions, the Notre Dame, and Rudy was a solid movie, but like that's all I really got for you. So
it's funny because like the last regular game was December the 7th. And the national championship game is going to be played on January the 20th. So it just
what day did they play this? What day last week was it? Was it Thursday
it
and
was
Friday or like?
Thursday and Friday, I believe. I know I think it
Okay,
was
I
Thursday. I'm
mean,
pretty sure it was Thursday and Friday.
I remember watching the first round of games. Like I remember the Arizona State game. Like that's the last game
Yeah.
I remember being like, oh, this is like really good. But uh,
The
yeah,
semifinals, hey, I will say the semifinals, both of those games were good. The first couple of rounds, I mean, you had some decent games, but you had some that weren't that interesting. So anyway, we're getting used to this 12-team playoff, but it's definitely an adjustment how long it's taking. And hey, I'm going to be watching the game. I mean, there's not going to be a national championship football, college football game that I don't watch. I don't
Yeah, no,
really
we'll watch. Yeah.
I don't really care who wins, I don't know. I don't know, maybe I'm pulling for Notre Dame. I don't even know.
Oh, I guess, I forgot about Marcus Freeman. Okay, yeah. And we always like respect the hot boy coach. And he's like Cliff Kingsbury. He's a black Cliff Kingsbury, but he actually like wins and stuff. So, and no, we're not cutting that out. That's not inappropriate, okay? That's what he looks like. Good looking gentleman. Very much not what you would expect from, like, in my head, a Notre Dame coach is like,
Lou Holtz.
not Lou Holtz, Charlie. You know what I'm talking about? What was
Yeah.
the he?
Yeah.
He had like a buzz cut.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, in my head, that
Yeah.
is like, it's like Notre Dame, like
Was
burly
that Charlie
guys. So
Weiss?
like
Was that Charlie White?
Charlie
Yeah,
Weiss,
yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah,
Charlie
yeah.
Weiss. I don't know why, but in my head that was like the Brody Croyle years, yes. But no, wait, Brady
Yeah,
Quinn was
I was
this.
like
Yeah,
Brody Coyle was at
Brody Quinn was in
Alabama.
Alabama, but
Brady
you know what I mean?
Quinn.
Like yeah, Brady Quinn, but they played at the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
time anyway. So no, I like Marcus Freeman. Make coaching hot again. So
Oh,
and he's getting some NFL buzz, and with the amount of head coaches of color who have dropped in the NFL, it is good. I know mom is like, why, Jordan? Why? No, like this is real. I don't think there's anything wrong with this. I think that it's good to see him get some buzz, and as we transition, I think, over to the
yeah.
NFL, with what just happened with the Cowboys where you live.
I listen. I really do try with the podcast uh to try to separate out some of the kind of social issues that I focus on a lot. I will say that I I did feel some kind of way around uh New England and Las Vegas both getting rid of their coaches, two black head coaches after just 1 year. When you do have coaches all across the league who are really screwing up and they get years and years and years. So um, that did hit a certain way. And so, but going into the NFL, I mean, the games yesterday, the wild card weekend, you know, that last game, I know we were both texting. Uh,
Great
that was a
game.
great game.
I watched it in three different locations. I was like, I couldn't sit still. I was like, oh, I got to go here. I got to go there. And yeah, so it was.
And then we're recording on Monday, so there's another game tonight. But I was wondering, Jordan, I've been looking at all the teams that are out there. And so what I wanted to ask you and I want us to talk about is two things. Who are the two teams that you want in the Super Bowl? Who are the two teams? And who do you want to win? But who are the two teams that you think will be there? And who do you think will win? And I've been going back and forth on this because we've been talking about having this segment for a week. And so I'm going to start if that's okay.
Yep, go
Okay.
for it.
So who do I want in the Super Bowl? I think anybody who knows me know what this answer is. I'd like to see Lamar Jackson from the Ravens, and I'd like to see Jalen Hurts from the Eagles. Anyone, I think, like anytime everybody asks me, they say, "Oh, I know what you're going with." And in that scenario, I would want Lamar Jackson and the Ravens to win because I know Jalen has many years ahead of him where he is going to get a Super Bowl win for the Eagles. So my what I want is I want the Ravens and I want the Eagles and I want the Ravens to win. And I don't want anybody to think I'm cheating on Jalen. I'm saying the Ravens because I think he's got Jalen has many years to win a Super Bowl. So who do you want? What are the two teams that you want? You want in the Super Bowl? Not who you think, but who do you want?
I want the I want the Ravens. I do want the Ravens. I want the Ravens, and I want the Eagles.
Okay.
But so again, but I
Okay,
would
so
not be.
now that's who you want. So clearly you're ready to go directly into who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl?
Who do I think is going to be in the Super Bowl? I think it's going to be a rematch of the Super Bowl 2 years ago, Eagles Chiefs. And I think the Eagles are going to win. I want the Eagles to win. I'm tired of this Jalen Hurts narrative, and Lamar in a weird way, he's not going anywhere. Like Jalen's not, but like Jalen, it feels like with Saquon, people were being like, like what's the biggest red flag when it comes to this team? It's like, well, Jalen hasn't really had to do anything. Like he's been pretty much like a game manager, and I think and I was talking to coworkers in a production meeting this morning, and they were like, why do we continue to doubt
It's
Jalen?
true.
And I think the reason is, and I think it goes back to the benching in that championship game. And in our heads, he's still that guy. He's like, he's good, but is he good
Mm.
enough? And ironically, his best moment was when he went toe to toe and frankly outplayed statistically Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. I mean, that's what kind of put him on, got him his contract. Everyone was like, this is the guy. But since then, he's been, oh, is Jalen this? There's been the weird locker room stuff, stuff with the owner. I mean, it feels like I could see if they flame out and he plays poorly, to start next year, that he could, they could look to move on or whatever it is. There's something about it. Like Lamar's going to win his third MVP. They're always going to back
Mm.
Lamar. They'll figure it out. Even if he doesn't win a Super Bowl, he'll go down as one of the most dynamic quarterbacks ever. I think Jalen still has so much to prove. And so I want that for him because Philly is, you win there, you're a legend, but as soon as they get a little antsy, it just, I don't know, something about it. So I'm rooting for Jalen because I feel like he's still, I think he's still kind of an underdog.
I agree. He does. He is overanalyzed. So you want the Eagles and the Ravens. You no
No, I want the Eagles
okay,
Ravens, and I think it's going to be Eagles
and you think it's
Chiefs.
going to be Eagles Chiefs, and I want the Eagles Ravens. I think it's going to be the Eagles Ravens. I actually think that.
Oh, really, Mom? No, it's funny how we're like what we think and what we want. It's like, I mean,
Well,
we're
I mean,
biased
if
clearly.
like for whatever reason, I
I mean, the
were
fact that
like if I
neither
was.
one of us is like, Mom, the Lions. Like realistically, we got like there's a lion
Oh,
conversation that should
absolutely.
probably be had. Yeah,
There's
but
a lot that but if I came in here and I said, okay, I really think the I don't know. I mean, I'm not poo-pooing the Commanders because I'm a Jaden Daniels fan, but like, oh, I really think the Commanders will win. That would be more of me fangirling than like looking at how the teams are playing. So anyway,
well, because you really like you're a big fan of Jeremy Reeves.
yeah, yeah,
The
I am.
Yeah,
Yeah, I am. Thank you, Jordan. You're just I can always count on you.
I think I'm gonna transition now into my good,
Okay.
if
What is
that's
your
okay.
good?
Yeah, because there hasn't been a lot of good. My good is, so someone who works in sports, someone who does work in sports. I love going to a random sports bar. There aren't that many in my area, but there's one or two. There's like this German pub, and there's these old heads or who just, you could tell the regulars. and there was this Eagles fan just yapping away about something, and some other guy, and again, I don't know if I'm gonna nail this story, but like, uh it was a Bengals fan decided to chime in while we were watching the Eagles, and who were they playing yesterday?
The Steelers.
Um, Eagles Steelers game. And randomly, this guy, we were talking about, top quarterbacks. And, little do they know, I will say I know my stuff sometimes. He's like, oh, you know what, though? I would take Joe Burrow over everyone, if all these people. And I was like, wait, is he in Cancun or Cabo right now? I forgot. And the whole bar just like erupted. Because it was just like, what are we talking? I mean, and it was just what, not the whole like story itself, but just I love being able to connect with people in that way. And I was like, hey man, I was just kidding. Like, he did have a great season. Like, it is a shame. It's never, one of my favorite things about being a sports fan is like banter, is being able to talk trash with each other. We're all watching one game, and maybe some people are fans, some people aren't, but we can all appreciate a good. I remember being at that bar near the UCLA campus, and the Jaden
No,
Daniel.
I
No,
thought
I
it
wasn't
was
with
the
you.
basketball game, and there was that group of guys.
Oh
Yeah, and it was
yeah,
just like
but
this
no, but
random
it's
group of
just,
people.
yeah, and it's just like you see a great play, and like I don't have a dog in any of these fights, but I'm just like, fantasy's over. I got nothing. I'm just literally rooting for a good game. And it's fun to react in real time with people you don't know, and the stakes aren't as high, but you can all appreciate good play. So yeah, my good is, I do think this is the time where sports brings people together. You guys use your words, not your fist.
I
So
like
yeah.
that, Jordan. And by the way, everyone, because I know everybody was wondering, Jordan did win his fantasy league, so
Oh yes.
all is well.
Look, I mean, I don't want to give a speech because I haven't got
No,
my trophy
no,
yet. It's getting mailed
nope,
in, but
nope.
no, it was a great year.
Yeah.
We the job was finished.
Okay.
We got the job done. I just want to say I started off 2-2. Again, no one cares. Started off 2-2, won 12 straight. So I mean, if that's not a dynasty, I don't know what
Yeah.
is.
A dynasty,
But
you have
yeah,
a dynasty is you repeatedly win, and you had said
I'm just
you
saying
hadn't been doing
it
that.
was a master class.
Okay. All right. I
Yeah.
know, you know how you say something, you said, I regret I brought that up. Okay. So my good is how Bryce Young finished the season. The last game, the amount of confidence, the turn your back on the touchdown, claiming it before it
Steph
happened.
Curry.
I the confidence. I mean, we know he's a great player. We know he knows how to play and how to read the defense and all that. It was, definitely a shot, I feel like, to his confidence and everything that happened. So yeah, Bryce is back, and I'm so excited for next year. The Panthers are excited for next year. So that's my good. My good. Okay. I want to do my bad. Okay. My bad is old news, but I saw this video and it was from November. And so I know it's old.
This is the most. I mean, I've already. Well, you lost me at November,
Okay.
but
It
okay,
happened
continue.
and I just found out about it. It was during the Virginia Tech Syracuse
So
game.
the election
It was
happened.
during the Virginia Tech Syracuse football game. The band was playing, and the Syracuse band was playing, and the Virginia Tech kicker went out on the field in the middle of the band playing and proceeded to warm up and tried to kick the ball to practice. I mean, this is not them leaving. He went out in the middle of them playing. Two different people came out to tell him to get off the field. And again, it happened in November. He got a lot of backlash. He eventually apologized. I just found it to be so disrespectful. And I know he was a kid and kids make mistakes, but like, that's so deliberate, right? You walk out on the field, a band is performing, and you decide I'm a football player, and what I need to do is more important than what they're doing. I just it really bothered me, and I know it's old news, but and Jordan, that's your alma mater.
No, I know. Yeah, no, I'm watching it now. No, there's I think I briefly remember this. You, I don't like. There's an entitlement there. That's very,
Uh,
it's like what these people are doing is less important.
exactly.
Like, bro, you were literally. I don't want to say like you are the least football player of all the football players on the team. And that's the worst part about it is like he's got some sense of insecurity, I'm sure, because kickers, they don't get treated. I mean, half the time these guys don't even call them football players. They're their own teammates. You're a specialist, whatever it is. And so these people are doing their what they love in the marching band. That takes a lot of time. I remember I had a couple friends in band.
Uh,
And it feels very high schooly, and it's like grow up Peter Pan, and it's also like, bro, you're a kicker, like relax, like just
yeah, well,
relax,
so that's not
like a
bad.
kicker should, yeah.
It's
I now I'm
yeah.
mad,
Okay, what's your bad?
messing with my messing with my orange man.
Do you have a bad,
My
Jordan?
I mean, I don't. I think it's my bad is just been this week.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's a fair. Nothing's gonna outweigh, being. And I'll be vulnerable for a second, and it's upsetting because I'm gonna have to edit this. Peek behind the curtain, but it like for a little bit, I felt this COVID like this feeling of, oh, is this a thing that's going to be, are we going to be stuck inside or people wearing masks? I mean, it was, and you kind of don't realize you have this PTSD. So not to make it a bummer, but it was for a couple days like, whoa, this is really scary. And it's weird to be like when the world news, you're in the middle of that news and you're like everyone's focused on what you're doing. But I do appreciate all the folks who have reached out and checked in on
Huh.
me. I'm still kicking. Who would have thought?
Jordan, don't say that.
I'm kidding. I'm
Um,
kidding. Okay, what's your F?
and my aunt is, and I just uh I'm trying to I'm really trying to wrap my hands around my arms around the situation. Um, for a minute I couldn't remember the player's name. AJ Brown. Yesterday, the cameras caught him on the sideline when the defense was out there reading a book. And my first reaction was, "Oh, that's just so interesting," because I'm always trying to promote people reading, and I was like, "That's so interesting." He's reading a book on the sidelines, and then there was a lot of conversation around, why is he doing that? Is he trying to like say, hey, I'm not playing any football today, so I'm gonna read a book, or I'm not getting the ball because he didn't get many opportunities. Then I heard people say they've seen him with the book before, and he brings the book to games. So that's why I was like, for me. For a minute I thought it's, oh, this is interesting. Then I was like, oh, he's being performative with the book. Then I heard, well, he brings the book, but he was sitting there reading it. And maybe it's just a mental thing. So that's why it's an for me, because I don't really know. I don't know.
Um, no, I think the conversation. It was clearly that tells you all you need to know about the Eagles. That even when they win, there's got to be some little drama. It seems like it's not a big deal. Um, I think I don't know. There's something about it where it's like you're going to be under an even bigger microscope. It's different than a regular season game. So why put that on? Because then I think about Jalen. Oh, he only had one catch for 5 yards. Like, you're reading on the sideline, but I'm not going to yuck his yum. I'm a reader now myself. Got a couple
Okay, let's
books,
see what we got.
and so yeah, and his book Inner
You
Excellence. Yeah. Oh yeah.
is that my book? That's your
No, it's
book?
not.
Oh, okay.
That's my
That was one of the
yeah.
first. That was one of the first books that we had to read when I started graduate school.
Aiden Christmas gift. So yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So my our boy might be in some trouble. My is Nick Saban. So this is the part of the internet I'm on. There was a young woman named Sydney Thomas. She was one of the ring girls for the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. She seems like a fine young woman. Anyway, she recently admitted she got a lot of attention from when she was the ring girl. And what is it? And I think she's from Alabama. And she recently said on like a podcast or whatever that a SEC coach slid into her DMs. Unfortunately, the next day, as in today, a picture has surfaced that she has posted of her
At the golf tournament?
with Nick Saban at the golf tournament. So look, I don't know. We don't like. And I feel bad because I don't think Nick's out in these streets like that. I think he's got Miss Terry. He's happy, but it's just poorly timed for that to come out. I put my money on Lane Kiffin. It seems like he's got that dog in him.
Okay.
Yeah. So that concludes episode 20. Guys, 21's coming up. All right. 21 birthday. Everyone remembers what they were doing. So there might be some champagne, some Monet. So just get excited. We love y'all. This is therapeutic for me. So and yes, cannot forget our lovely Tamra, who has really been using the chat today. Called me out on my chappy lips, I guess, which I respectfully don't see.
Yeah,
lips are glossing.
She's been pretty active there.
Yeah,
Shout out
she's
to
been a little-
Tamara,
yeah,
our
so-
producer. But that's like you said, that's it. Episode 20. Please subscribe. We're getting a lot of engagement on YouTube. So please subscribe. I'm Mom. I know ball. Jordan, do you know ball?
And yes, I do know ball.
Okay.
Again.
All right. See you later.